Well, hello, my friend.
Hi, how are you?
I am excited. I am so excited to talk to you today.
Good seeing your face.
Good
Absolutely.
seeing, good
Looking
seeing you.
all beautiful.
Good seeing you. Good seeing you. I started doing this series a few weeks ago, and I have a list of people that I want to talk to, and you were very high on that list. As soon as I started the idea, I knew that I wanted to interview Jessica because I remember when a few years ago,
Yes.
we were doing a vision board here at my house, a vision boarding session, and that's when I learned about this beautiful vision of yours. So
Yes.
tell me, my sis, what inspired you to start Sankofa Cafe?
Um, First of all, thank you so much for having me. Uh, we are neighbors, and so you know just how beautiful the south end of Montclair is. And so my family and I came here 17 years ago, 18 years ago, and love the community, love the neighborhood. And I am a really big fan of coffee. And I hated the fact that we did not have a community space here on the South End. So anytime I wanted good coffee, I would have to go a mile up the way or into the next town to get really good coffee. And I just felt like once my kids got bigger, um, I really wanted to try my hand at a business here on the south end of Montclair. And, the stars aligned, and, I began to really start planning in earnest. And it took me about 2 years, but even longer because I had a Pinterest board and I was putting all kinds of stuff together. If I were to get my dream business, this is
Mm.
what I wanted to look like. This is what I wanted to feel like. And so, I feel so blessed that I was able to get that going.
And this is your dream business, isn't it?
It is. It is. I had a business once a few years ago that was really not in my gifts. I owned a franchise, and it did not afford me the ability to be as creative as I have been in
Mm.
this cafe. And so, you know, once I got the chance to do it, I really was like, what do I want people to feel when they come into this space? And, I always say that coffee is just the excuse, but I really want folks to come in and feel welcomed and feel comfortable and feel like they have a space here in the South End um, that they can just commune and get to know their neighbors. And so I think that I'm just starting. I'm just past the 6 month mark, and I think I'm on my way. But this has been such a big undertaking for me, and just really blessed that I was able to get it going.
Well, let me say how grateful I am that you chose to undertake this dream of yours because what you have created is something that we in the south end of Montclair, which you were right, it is our neighborhood. It's where we live and it's where we've raised our children. But we have, I believe, for 20 years since I've moved here, for
Mhm.
20 years, the conversation among neighbors has been, we need a gathering space. Wouldn't it be lovely to have a coffee house, a
Mm-hmm.
square?
Yep.
And what you have created is a gathering space that is
Yeah.
warm and inviting. And I think people from all over Montclair have been enjoying this
Yeah.
amazing space. So
Yeah.
I have so much gratitude for you because I can literally walk out my door, up the street, and boom, there it is.
Yes. Yes. I have
So,
the best commute to get to the space. But I think more than anything, I love walking into that space every day. Like I haven't had a day so far where I'm like, "Ugh, this is just too much." It is rooted in what I think the South End of Montclair is all about. I'm originally from Harlem, and um, I just knew that I wanted spaces that I had in Harlem, to be here in Montclair. And I couldn't say enough about how blessed I feel to be there, and how blessed I feel to have all of these neighbors come. And people have come from, I just had a woman from Greece in the space this morning. And what a thing to be able to have a space where people can come. And they were like, I'm from Greece and I heard about the place. And so that's great.
So you have literally brought a piece of Harlem to the south end of Montclair.
Yes, I
Wow.
liked it. So, yeah,
Wow.
Harlem is really different than it was when I grew up,
I
and
bet.
good stuff, but definitely change as neighborhoods tend to change.
Mhm.
And but I really was intentional about um, having some of that there in Montclair. My roaster is from Harlem, and I love that. It's like a little piece of where I'm from, and now where I live is so. It's just a really special place. And I want to continue to grow it and to continue to be a community partner.
That's beautiful. One of the things I've been learning so much during these interviews,
Mm-hmm.
not just about the people, but about the themes. The
Yes.
themes that drive, that fuel, that inspire small business owners.
Mm-hmm.
And there are common threads. And one of those threads is all of them speak to their businesses as a labor of love, a passion-centered thing,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
All of
Yes.
all of you. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Speak to that.
No, no, that couldn't be more true. Uh, I think when you are really intentional about the businesses that you grow, it's just organic. You know, well, not the name Sankofa means to go back and get it. And I sort of expand upon that, using my ancestors, using past to inform my future. And that is so rooted in South End, if you think about it. South End has such a rich history of these multi-generational families that have been here forever, you know, and yet there are all these new people coming in as well, you know, and I wanted to create a space where both of those populations could come and just be, and we grow from there. Um, and so that has been such an I wanted that to happen, and it looks like it's coming together. So I'm really excited about that.
What you're saying is so beautiful because you've certainly taken passion. I feel like there's a synergy or chemistry that has happened where you have brought you have brought forth your passion, your love, and you've poured it into this place, your dreams, your desires, your hopes for your community.
Mhm.
And you have brought some of your culture and your cultural influences from where you grew up, Harlem. And now you've created this beautiful space that somehow, through those influences, exemplify everything that the neighborhood is today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm glad that you feel that when you come into the space. I every detail I wanted to be intentional. There's a beautiful green on the wall. I think I shared this with you, um, that reminds me of my grandmother's mixing bowls, you
Mm.
know. And so I feel like she's there when I walk through the doors. And I want somebody who comes in to feel a little bit of that, however they experience the space. To know that this is wholly rooted in our ancestors, wholly rooted in all these people who worked really hard for me to get to where I'm at. And so um, that has been a real joy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you talk about coming, growing up in Harlem and then living there for a while and then making the journey to Montclair. What pulled you to Montclair? What pulled you and
Um,
your family?
So my family was a relocation family. We lived all over the country. We were in Ohio. I like to say I had a child in every state. We were in Ohio. We were in California. We came here to Glen Ridge, close to Montclair. We went to Mississippi. And then we finally wanted to venture back here close to Harlem, where our families are. And Montclair was just, there was there was no conflict. There was like, we knew we wanted to be here because it's so diverse, and because we knew our children were going to be exposed to people from all over the world,
Yes.
all over Jersey, and just exposed to different cultures. And that's wholly rooted in who we are as a family.
Mm,
And so, it was just a given that we wanted to be here once we got close to New York City proper.
yeah.
Um, and it's a great commute. I go to see my mother all the time. It takes me, no time to get over um, the bridge to go see her. So that's
There
great.
you go. There you go. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what attracts so many of us to this amazing
Mm-hmm.
place that we call home.
Yeah, absolutely.
So someone walks into Sankofa.
Mm-hmm.
What is the thing that they must get? What is that? Yeah.
Um,
First time. For the first time. For the first time.
um, um, so I'm more and more getting into the weeds of coffee, and
Mhm.
um, I cease I've ceased being a coffee drinker that adds milk and all of the wonderful things that, you know, um, make up all the wonderful coffee drinks. But I really want people to come in for the first time and at least taste our drip coffee.
Mm.
It is so good, and I love drinking it just straight, which is awesome. Um, my other favorite is our lattes. I use oat milk, and I have a barista that makes a special one. It has cardamom and a little bit of pepper in it, which is so
Mm.
wonderful. Um, our chai, I also was really intentional with um, my vendors, and I tried to really source local people
Yeah.
to, um, you know, give us all of our goodies. And our chai is made by a local business called the Chai Guy. And Ricardo is amazing. He lives right up the block, and he makes the most amazing chai. And so I'm really honored that I get to sell that in Sankofa. I can go on and on and on. My baristas they teach me stuff every day, um, with in terms of drinks. And so I have a barista that makes what's called a sunrise, and it's
Mm.
hibiscus tea and lemonade, and she tops it off with a little bit of seltzer water, and it looks like a sunrise the way
Yeah.
she makes it, and so beautiful. And so everybody has their thing when they come into the cafe, but those are like my favorites.
I love that. I really do. For those of us who are like, I regretfully gave up coffee about a
Oh,
year
mm-hmm,
ago.
mm-hmm.
And I love the smell of coffee. I love
Yeah.
the, I just love everything about it. Uh,
Hmm.
but I just had to give it up for various reasons. So
Absolutely.
for those who are non-coffee drinkers,
Hmm.
what do you have?
So, like I said, the chai, we do a wonderful matcha, beautiful. We also have teas that I really, really like. It's interesting that you say that about coffee because I also, cannot tolerate a whole lot of coffee all day long like I used to. Um, and I found a woman-owned tea supplier, and they're amazing. And they do blends that are like spectacular. So they do my hibiscus tea, but they also have these blends like pink rose lemonade, which is lemongrass and
Mm,
and just all really, really good, thoughtful blends that I'm really proud to sell there as well.
I love that. One of my favorites is the hibiscus tea.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
love me some of that hibiscus tea. What would you say makes your business unique?
I think there's so much about it that's unique. The decor is super unique. It doesn't look like any other business I know of in Montclair or surrounding areas. I think that my attention to detail with regards to, having different spaces for folks to come in. So we have booths where, the hardcore office people are there and they, conduct business there. We have a special space in the back where I have a knitting group that comes in and a book group that comes in. They were here this morning, and it's easier to gather as a small group. I have couches on one end where I have my little ones coming in with their parents to play games is there. I have stools where, just a lone person can come in and tune out and just enjoy their coffee by themselves. And so I think each place within the cafe can afford anyone, the right environment. And so I really wanted that to happen. You can be a single and enjoy yourself, and you can be a group and have a space where you could really commune. So I feel like that was intentional and it's really unique.
It was intentional. I mean, this is like your whole space was so intentionally designed, so thoughtfully put together in consideration of all types of people, all types of structures of like families or whatever, individuals, whatever. And I actually feel like it's a community center that sells coffee.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right?
And I've had a few fundraisers. I had a birthday party, and I was just marveling at how we can transform the space and make it do what it needs to do for an event. Um, we had a open mic over last weekend, and they set up mics, and there were guitars, and people came up to do their whole poetry, and it transformed once again. And so just super, super grateful that it's been able to be different things for different events.
Yes, different things for different people. Yeah. And your best-selling product, what's that? What would
Oh, I think hands down, we have a banana bread that we make. A friend of mine is a local baker, and she supplies me the batter that she makes. And, it's all proprietary. She doesn't tell anybody the secret of her banana bread. And I bake that in-house every morning. And it is it's wildly successful. And it really, I had to stop. I had to like intentionally refrain from having a banana bread every morning. I was just like, this is not gonna do well for my waistline. But yeah, absolutely. No doubt that that is a bestseller.
Maybe I'll experiment myself and do a dairy-free baked good and bring it
Hmm.
on over.
Yes, yes, yes.
What do you feel like people don't know about Sankofa?
I think
Is there anything that people don't know about that you feel like they should know about?
I've been really transparent about just how much it is taken to get it open. I
Mhm.
think my biggest struggle right now is getting people to see how fabulous the South End is. You know, I can tell you every day there is somebody that comes into the space and like I never knew this was a thing, the South End, and I was like, this is the best kept secret of Montclair, in my opinion. Um, but it is really awareness of just how like truly diverse Montclair is. It's not just Bloomfield Avenue, you
Correct.
know, there's a whole community on, the whole half of this community that's thriving and wonderful. So I think that's the biggest one, I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's one of the best kept secrets in Montclair. Would
Mhm.
agree with that for sure. How do you feel about the incredible outpouring of community support for Sankofa? Well, how does that make you feel?
Uh, you're gonna get me emotional. It has been overwhelming, and you know, just so much support from neighbors I've known the whole time that I've been here, to folks that I've known on the periphery that have just lent all of their talents to support me. I did this on my own, like I'm just gonna just just go with it. Fear was not allowed to be a part of my narrative because so many people were like, look, you know, this is a wonderful idea. We want to see you birth it. And so it's just been just absolutely extraordinary how much support I've gotten, and real, like not just coming in the doors. My neighbor 2 doors down helped me with my logo. My neighbor 2 blocks to the back of me was my architect. My neighbor right here was like cheerleader extraordinaire. You were just so amazing. And, I remember when we were in the space before it was actually finished, you
Mhm.
know, and you just don't know how much people impact your life, um, except when you're going through,
Mhm.
a real trial. And this was just uh, going up a really steep hill trying to get it finished. And so I cannot say how grateful. I can't let everybody know. I'm just so overwhelmingly grateful for everything that people poured into me so that I could get it moving. And the greatest gift of all. And I'm just so honored that these really extraordinary people took their time to help me get this going. And so
Yes,
it's been,
yes, 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 yes. And we are grateful for your courage because courage is feeling the fear and doing it anyway. And that's what you did. It was a massive undertaking. I can only imagine how challenging it was as pretty much put the sack on your back and started walking up that hill,
yep,
right?
yep,
So thank you for being courageous, and your courage birthed this place that we love so much in our community. Reflecting on that experience and thinking about others like you who have a passion, who have a vision, a dream of creating something
mhm,
beautiful, not necessarily a cafe, but whatever it is. What advice would
yes.
you give to others who have the aspiration to become a small business owner, to create that thing, to fill a need that they know exists?
Yeah. I would say that my biggest challenge in putting my thing in was asking for help. You know, that was huge for me. Um, I'm very solitary. I'm just like, I can do it. And um, I think that it it came out as well as it did because I did um, get the courage to ask for help. And I think that if anybody is really putting forth like a really special project, um, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. You know, there are so many people, there are so many things that contribute to something coming out in the most extraordinary of ways. And so that was a huge lesson for me and for anybody um, trying to birth a business, a unique business. Um, it just does not happen on your own. There is just, you know, from people just like dropping dinners at my doorstep, like, look, I know you are in the weeds of finding the money and, finding the contractors, you need to eat, and so I just think that it's just all the more special when you allow yourself to take people in to help you. Um, and that was huge for me. And I think it's that much more special because I was able to open my mouth and say I need help. Um, so and I'm sure that's not for everybody, but I think it was a huge part in me being successful and opening it.
You'd be surprised at how many of us we're so used to getting it done,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and getting it done on our own that we just have a hard time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then when help is provided, we have a hard time receiving that help.
Absolutely, absolutely. But the smartest thing I figured out was knowing what I didn't know and in finding people that could, fill that hole for me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go into this with an MBA, and so, I'm sort of learning as I go. And that's a huge challenge, but knowing what I don't know and finding those right people to help me was gold.
What's your favorite aspect of owning Sankofa?
I think my favorite thing is when I get groups of people that come in and are so excited to be there, so excited to be with one another. There's an electricity that courses through that cafe that is just palpable, and that makes me smile every single time, and so as tired as I am, as worried as I am about the next shipment of coffee coming in or whatever, that right there is just speaks to my soul, and I'm just really really happy when that happens.
Yeah, yeah. When the space comes alive, right?
Hmm.
With
Yep.
what people bring to it, what the groups bring to it, the synergy that's
Mhm.
created in that
That's
space
words.
is beautiful.
Yep.
I've experienced it myself, having had events there. So
Yep.
yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's you. Well, how can customers find Sankofa? Tell us about your online means of connecting with people, all that good stuff. What
Oh
is
yeah. So this has been one of those things that my baristas are helping me with. So social media, that's not my thing, and they were like, "Well, you got to make it your thing."
will
And
be
so,
your thing?
um, I have a Instagram presence.
What is
I
your Instagram handle?
Sankofa Cafe underscore NJ. And so that's been really fun to see my baristas post and then all of the reaction, and So that's been awesome. Um, the uh, the website, absolutely.
And what's that? How do they find that website? Again, Sankofa.
Um, yep, Sankofa Cafe NJ.com.
Okay,
And
very good.
um, word of mouth has been awesome. And so I hope that all of those entities are able to, you know, gain me some traction so that, I stay. And
We need
so
we need you to stay. And we are committed to that. I am committed
I know
to
you are, you're
doing
like,
whatever it takes to
you are
support.
such a cheerleader. I love it. I'm so grateful for that.
So we will keep Sankofa out there, um, in top of mind for people, because this is what we've needed for so long. And I actually feel a responsibility to ensure that it has staying power. So, yeah, that's
Yes.
exactly what we're going to do.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You were such a community advocate. So it's been a joy getting to know you and seeing you now that I'm open. And so, we have to continue that.
I so appreciate your time. I know how busy you are, and I don't take it for granted. So thank you so much for taking time out today to speak with me and to be one of the pioneer business owners on Loving on Local Montclair. Thank
Love
you.
it. Thank
See you
you.
soon. I'll see you with Sankofa.
Okay. Bye.